No magic for you tonight, then, miss?
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Mr. Butler. Jack.
Of course, Miss Fisher. No doubt an unexpected guest is far more enticing than an expected one.
Allow me to...
Miss Fisher, what happened to your prior engagement?
I dealt with that.
Pearl Dyson, magician's assistant, cut off in her prime.
You know, I saw the original Cavalcade of Mysteries as a child.
I can't imagine you small and harmless.
Well, I was definitely small. And luckily for you, I paid attention. Guillotine is a rather rudimentary model. But the principle remains the same.
So I assume the trick is to keep the lethal section of the blade out of the way.
Exactly. With this, by pulling out this small nail. Now, perhaps you could pass me some vegetation and I'll demonstrate, unless, of course, you'd like to volunteer. Now, without that small nail, the blade should be rendered absolutely harmless. How? What's this?
Another nail with the head filed off.
This was no accident.
As entertaining as this is, Miss Fisher, I have an investigation to get on with.
You can't, sorry. Miss Fisher is a gentleman house guest.
Constable, you working or gossiping?
I'm working, sir.
Well, have you finished fraternizing?
Don't be like that. That really is rather a nice tie. So, would you like to take another look at the body with me?
Is that an invitation?
Well, I could wait all day for yours.
Miss Fisher, got a mate of yours in the cab. Reckons he's taking you for supper at the Green Mill.
Run along, Miss Fisher. I wouldn't want you to neglect your social commitments.
Jack, it's really not as social as you think.
Telephone me when you have more on Miss Dyson.
Of course. But Jack, I've only just arrived. Did you know Sid Forrest is a sword swallow?
A man of many talents, I'm sure. Perhaps you should invite him to supper. Good day.
What have you done to him? Stood him up for another man?
Oh, come on, cough up.
Men. Can't live without them. You can't hit them with an axe. Jack, may I finish my conversation with you?
If I said no, would it make a difference?
I think we need to have another word with Eva Callahan. Sid is an aspiring magician, and Eva has been grooming him.
And what does Sid's aspirations have to do with Miss Callahan?
Well, what if they're in cahoots? Eva's been teaching him her father's entire repertoire. If the two of them want to take over the show, then what better way than by sabotaging the miraculous mermaid and discrediting Mackenzie all in one fell drop of the blade?
A drastic theory, but worth testing, especially as we already have Miss Callahan here.
So you do? Inspector. Someone's been very busy over here doing some metal filing. And look what I found in the forest green. A nailhead.
Hang on, that...
So now that Sid's officially been struck off my supper guest list, perhaps we could try again. Tonight?
No unexpected guests?
Actually, that's what I want to discuss.
Good, good. So would I.
I do apologize, Inspector. I'm sure Miss Fisher will be here shortly.
Jack, at last. I am so sorry I kept you.
I'm sorry too, Miss Fisher.
Why don't you sit down and have another drink?
No. I need to make something perfectly clear.
Go ahead.
Well, you know I'm a liberal-minded man. Maybe not as liberal-minded as you'd like me to be, or as much as I would like me to be for you. But I don't want you to think I'm like all those other liberal-minded men.
What other men?
Well, the constant parade of French artists, of fugitive anarchists, of Russian clairvoyants, and the tango dancers, and men who wear damned cravats. Well, I'm not one of them, and I never will be, even if you want me to be. That's all I have to say.
Jack, wait.
I forgot my nerve tonic.
Good morning, Inspector. I've pressed your suit.
Thank you, Mr. Butler.
No trouble at all, sir.
Hungry? I can recommend the omelette.
Morning, Jack. How's the head?
Miss Fisher?
I offered him breakfast.
Father, I asked you to wait upstairs.
Father?
Henry George Fisher, Baron of Richmond. We haven't been formally introduced, though I did help to carry you up the stairs.
This is Detective Inspector Jack Robinson.
Inspector?
Yes, Father, an officer of the law. My father is the main financier of the Cavalcade of Mysteries. You might recall Mr. Mackenzie mentioning him.
Yes, I do recall.
I think I'll try another omelette.
Jack! I was going to explain last night, but you were in no fit state.
You assaulted me.
My father assaulted you. Well, his nerve tonic assaulted you first, but none of it was planned.
Who put me in pajamas?
Mr. Butler, of course. After I undressed you.
Get her out of there!
Get her out of there! Phryne's in there!
Stop her!
Your father has just arrived, Miss Fisher.
Not again. Don't.
Miss Fisher?
Inspector Robinson, just in time to help us celebrate. Come in, come in. Come in.
And what are we drinking to?
To magic, to mermaids, to my wonderful daughter, to leopards changing their spots.
And to miracles.
The police to see, sir.
Jack, what on earth are you doing here?
Same thing as you, I imagine, Miss Fisher. Detective Inspector Jack Robinson.
Group Captain Lyle Compton. That'll be all, James.
Group Captain, a woman has been found dead near your perimeter fence.
Dead?
I was aware there was an incident.
You didn't know?
No. Compton and I are old friends. I was here on another matter.
I'll need a list of names of any personnel who left the base in the last 24 hours.
No one was authorized to leave the base. I can tell you that right now.
What about unauthorized?
Phryne.
Who was this woman?
We don't know, as yet.
This has no connection with the Air Force.
If I find a connection,
There will be a thorough investigation. Keep me informed, Inspector.
you find me at the morgue, Miss Fisher.
I can't promise to keep all your secrets, Compton. Not if it stands between Jack and bringing a murderer to justice.
But at least be discreet. Please. Keep me posted.
Jack, wait! You know I can't resist a murder if it is a murder.
Found these by the body. She had better access to the Air Force than I do.
Perhaps Flight Lieutenant James Manning gave her access. Perhaps they were lovers.
Or maybe just old friends.
I met Compton back in England at the end of the war. I flew a couple of low-key missions with him, that's all. No lighter and only one unlit cigarette. But a serious smoker.
Missions as in intelligence.
Not officially.
Flight, Earth eyes turn skyward. Have been and there will always long.
A love letter. Sounds very literary.
Very aeronautical. So Captain Courageous is entrusting Mata Hari with another secret mission.
Compton was a long time ago, Jack, and it wasn't like that. Well, yes, it was, but you know what it's like when you think life is fleeting and you might die at any moment.
I always feel like that when I'm with you.
Call with any details that might help missing persons. The murderer seems to have made off with anything that might establish who she was.
We found something in the coat pocket, but you're going to have to play nicely.
Why aren't you the RAF wing walking or something?
Now, that won't score you any points.
I've managed to score a few without you. European Club, haunt of militant unionists, including the amalgamated mechanics and committed Red Ragger, Ribbit Higgins. The logical deduction with the union trouble at the RAF, Higgins's file, belonging to an unlawful association charge dismissed 10 years ago. Sedition charge still pending.
Do you think our victim was passing James Manning information?
It could explain what she was doing near the base, with his keys. What about next of kin on Manning's military file?
You should be impressed I managed to get his service number before Compton whisked it away. You know, you and Compton are very similar, Jack. I think you'd like him.
I don't think one necessarily follows the other.
All right, full points for that.
A match for the love letter.
We're here to see Captain Compton.
I have my orders, sir. Miss Fisher only.
Surely the group captain didn't say I couldn't be escorted by my fiancé. Such a masculine environment's overwhelming for a single woman.
Let me check for you.
Oh, there's no need to escort us. I know the way. Admitted, Jack. Being a woman definitely has its assets.
Well, I appreciate your assets. Now, if we can hurry up this break-in.
I'm not breaking anything. I'm merely taking a circuitous route. Keys. Numbers would have made this a lot easier.
Suggest that to your captain friend.
Eureka. Third time lucky.
Fourth.
Must you be so contrary?
I'm not interested in speculation.
I am. What about a love triangle?
I can't imagine that.
Well, it's not that difficult. One woman, two men. It has been known to lead to conflict.
I do hope you understand. On another matter, Phryne. A personal one.
You can see now why Compton needs to be discreet.
No, I don't see. A woman is dead, and he's asking you to withhold information from me. If he won't cooperate with the police, I'll go over his head.
You seem determined to make this a personal matter.
And you seem determined to make it a military one. I don't understand why you have to dance to his tune.
Excuse me, Miss Fisher. Mr. Butler just called to let you know the group Captain Compton would like to see you. Urgently.
Thank you, Hugh. I dance to no one's tune, Jack.
Now.
Get to the car, you.
Drop your weapon.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Don't shoot!
Hold your positions, men! Inspector Robertson, this is trespass!
We were just leaving.
Not with military property, you're not.
Take it up with the Chief Commissioner. Get to the car, Collins.
Stand down, men.
Jack, wait! We were just reminiscing!
Where did you find those? And what on earth?
It's a police matter, Miss Fisher. It's none of your concern. You keep those eyes turned skyward.
Eyes turned skyward.
That's it.
Two arrests in one day. Murder and treason. This calls for a celebration.
Well, I still have a report to write for the Chief Commissioner about a missing Russian emigre due to give evidence at Rupert Higgins' trial.
Excuse me, Miss Fisher. Albert has telephoned. He's said that the caviar has arrived.
Thank you, Mr. B.
So if the caviar is who I think it is, where's it being sent to?
Tasmania?
So what do I tell my chief?
You can tell him that the Air Force doesn't know either.
That's some consolation.
Even though Compton saved my life.
Literally?
10 years ago. He had a chute and he could have bailed, but he chose to crash land the plane between two mountains and a ravine. And we both survived.
Well, no doubt you have more dashing heroes in your past.
If there weren't, I wouldn't be here.
To heroes, then.
And to the one as yet unsung hero who has saved me over and over again. Excellent timing, Jack. Although it's fair to say I did have a little further to travel.
Miss Fisher?
Inspector Robertson, this is a very bad business.
I'm Phryne Fisher, private detective. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Grazie. Thank you, Miss Fisher.
Guido, do you have any idea who might be behind this?
Excuse me? Those bastards put a fire in my restaurant. Kill my wife. Are you asking me who do this to Nona Luisa?
Perhaps we could have a more private chat. Constable, if you could take a statement.
You know we'll do no good. Just like before.
I'll take care of it, Guido. Please.
Yeah.
Jack, I can't help feeling I'm missing half of this conversation.
And I'm happy to keep it that way, Miss Fisher.
What do you think that was about?
Jack, you didn't think I'd be frightened off by the Gomorrah, did you?
No, I knew you'd be drawn to it like a moth to a flame. That's why I'm keeping you out of it. You have no idea how ruthless these people can be.
Eat with them, drink with them!
Everyone will be questioned. Guido. Vincenzo, you two. To the station. Go. Go.
Please, everybody.
And this Fabrizi, he was the husband of the woman at the restaurant. The one who was brushing down your jacket.
Conchetta.
She seemed to know you quite well.
She's an old friend. I believe that's a term I've heard used.
Ma non credi che noi non sappiamo che... I didn't know you drank coffee, Jack.
Would you like me to make a full confession?
No, thank you. I prefer a never-ending source of mystery.
Come in, Gianni. Papa is awake now.
Conchetta, this is Miss Fisher.
See, we talked last night.
Did you know? What? Came back to the restaurant last night.
I had a few questions for Conchetta.
Did you get the answers you were looking for?
Too early to say. When you say old friend, do you mean old friend like Dr. Mack or old friend like Captain Compton?
No. Conchetta Strano hasn't saved my life from a burning plane wreck in Madagascar, if that's what you mean. Can I give you a lift?
No, thank you. I have an appointment at the docks.
Nosing around.
Don't worry, Jack. If I find anything, you will be the first to know.
No, I'll be the last. I'm more concerned about you getting in too deep.
Oh, me?
Look, these people have been killing each other for generations.
I'll be careful. I'll be careful. Promise me you'll be careful too. They did come from the same village. Imagine where all this hate has sprung from.
Makes perfect sense. What greater force is there than thwarted love?
Burning the midnight oil, Jack. Grandpa will do that.
I'm sure I was up no later than you.
Oh, I was tucked up in bed at a very sensible hour.
If you're waiting for me to ask who with...
That's odd. Why would Nonna Louisa take out £6 every Thursday?
Wages?
There were none, only the family worked there.
Shopping?
That all came out of the restaurant account. This was her personal one. Another one of her secrets.
So what did you say you were up to last night?
I didn't.
Then why are you asking me?
No reason. It's called civilized conversation.
Vincenzo's a hard nut to crack. Even if he knew, I doubt torture would get it out of him.
But love might. It can bring even the toughest men completely undone.
You sure this'll work, Miss Fisher?
Of course I'm not sure.
You don't need to say it. Si vede che qualcuno si pigliato il cordo. Your heart is... it's taken.
I care for you. You deserve to be happy.
Stai tranquillo. I will be fine. And Roberto will hug. When I marry again, it will be for love. But you were taken.
The inspector to see you, Miss Fisher.
Not eating Italian tonight, Jack.
Stranos is closed.
Looks like you'll have to make two with me.
Looks like we'll have to make do with each other.
Howdy, this is Inspector Robinson.
Going out or coming in?
Oh, Jack, not all of us are in bed at 9 with a hot milk and a Zane Grey.
No, you'd prefer D.H. Lawrence and a bottle of cognac.
Inspector. All right, just me now. Spill the beans.
should take Paddy to the station, see what else I can learn.
Well, good luck with that. No kid from Collingwood's going to cooperate with the police.
What about the one I'm looking at?
I thought you were cooperating with me. You know, the first thing I ever stole, the police let me keep.
Really?
It was this little brooch in the shape of a swallow. I saw it in the pawnbroker's window and I coveted it for a whole year until I seized the opportunity.
Well, and you were caught.
Well, someone lagged.
No. Then you talked your way out of it?
Well, I told the police that my grandmother had given it to me and my father had hocked it for a bottle of beer.
What happened to your scarf?
No, Archie Woods. Still, it's better than puncturing my throat.
Looks like you made an attempt.
No, it's nothing. Sure he's not the first man who wanted to wring my neck?
No.
Sorry, miss.
That's wonderful. If you've won over the inspector, you're halfway there. I'm sure that Mr. Butler can put you to work if you have any trouble.
Oh, as long as we lock up the silver, yes.
I hope you're right. Hugh comes to his senses.
You will, if I have anything to do with it. Young Paddy must be a satisfied customer.
I believe so. He just proposed to me.
It takes a brave man to propose to you.
Oh, or a very foolish one.
I found something for you when we raided Mary's health van.
Am I the receiver of stolen goods?
No. More lost property. If the owner comes forward, I'll send them your way.
They can fight me for it.
It's true. About your father hocking your grandmother's brooch.
A lemonade toast. To the children we were.
To the adults we've become.
Sorry, madam, this is a crime scene.
So I've heard.
Miss Fisher, at last. Shall I leave now?
No. I have a question for you.
Just the one.
Where's the appliance?
Should I begin to question our suspect, sir?
Miss Fisher will assist me with that, Constable.
My shorthand is not quite as impressive, but I have other qualities.
You heard Miss Fisher, Constable.
You have any idea what this appliance was?
I have a fast-developing theory. Given what Dot reported on the victim's neurosis, Dr. Samuel's controversial reputation, and the victim's lack of underwear, I'd say an electrical massager.
A what?
A vibrating machine with a range of applications to various, sometimes delicate parts of the body.
Oh. Oh, that sort of electrical massager.
Oh. Do you know what we're looking for? Have you seen one before?
I was once ordered to raid a brothel in Chinatown that employed all manner of interesting devices.
Now, that's a tale I haven't heard.
I confess I failed to understand the point of most of them.
I have a friend who can enlighten you.
It was during my cadetship. The whole establishment made a lasting impression.
Mr. Freud would be terribly interested in that.
I'm quite interested myself.
So, what exactly are we looking for, sir?
We'll discuss that later, Constable.
It would certainly explain the conspiracy of silence. Unless you unhand Jemima this second, I believe Dolores will strip herself naked as the day she was born. And what's more, I will join her.
Good God!
And so will I.
You're all stark raving mad. This isn't the end of the story, Samuels. I'll be back.
I should know better than to underestimate the power of the feminine.
Even though Dr. Samuels rescues these women from surgery, he still ends up a very rich man once they're dead.
True, but he may not be the one benefiting from all this.
You suspect Harriet Edwards?
Donations, bequests, deposit boxes stuffed with cash. And whoever can wheedle a £1,000 donation out of my aunt has a tongue of solid silver.
Harriet!
Oh, I won't be walking this morning, Dr. Perkins. I'm not feeling at all well.
I wonder what's ailing Harriet.
Come on, ladies.
Allowing a prime suspect to help us with a witness is a first. Even for you.
Shh. Poor Aunt Prudence. It has indeed been a long and winding trail.
Pity it took 2 murders to prove it's not healthy to bottle things up.
Which reminds me, you never did tell all about the Chinese brothel.
I have trouble recalling trauma.
Jack Robinson, you promised me. Do I have to put you on the couch and psychoanalyze you?
Sounds inviting. Perhaps another time, in a more intimate setting.
I'll hold you to that.
Beg your pardon, miss. The inspector's on the telephone. He needs your assistance at a crime scene.
Let me get to the bottom of this sample. Jack!
Miss Fisher, Miss Williams. This remains, Miss Fisher. I was a bag with your name on it, the only one robbed.
May I look at your guest register, please?
Phryne, my dear.
I'm sorry, Jack. I don't think I can bring myself to assist you with this case after all.
How could he have missed that boat? I saw him walk up the gangplank. I watched the purser check his ticket. I should have stood guard on the dock and waited for the boat to clear the bay. What's that smile?
He outsmarted you.
He did not outsmart me. He behaved in a way that no reasonable human being would behave. All right, he outsmarted me.
And I have to admit, grudging admiration for that. But given Fisher the Elder seems even more resourceful and unpredictable than Fisher the Younger, how can I investigate this case without you?
All right, I'll assist.
But what?
But you need to understand that my father is not as charming and harmless as he appears to be.
Well, things must be dire when a daughter can't believe her own father.
Things are dire.
Thank you, Lord Fisher. I think we'll defer the rest of our questioning until we complete the examination of our crime scene.
You want to be back in the fray, Jack? I haven't finished with him.
Let's call it intermission.
I wonder where this ends up.
Miss Fisher!
Jack, is that you? No need for formalities.
I think we can safely assume the contents of that bag are far more interesting than an old man's socks.
I wonder if the Twilight Waltz was ever a respectable proposition.
Well, it was the height of fashion before the war, completely above board, despite my father's patronage. This was where he wooed my mother.
He claimed he had Tickets, but all he really had was a vague connection to the brother of the doorman who escorted them through the kitchen each night when the maitre d' wasn't looking. Mother should have known that that spelled trouble.
Obvious but inherited powers of persuasion.
Mother blamed it all on his dancing, claimed that one whirl in his arms forced all reason from her head.
A good waltz can do that.
I never believed her. News from you?
No, but I'm working on getting him a promotion.
Well, if I were you, I'd work a little faster.
Constable. So, did your father shed any light on our killer's identity?
Of course not. Another secret in his secret life.
Care for a waltz, Miss Fisher?
Are you sure you want to risk it?
What's the risk?
Well, I have waltzed with the best. French presidents, English princes, American film stars. The waltz is a very serious dance.
And I'm a serious man.
My mother lost all reason when she was waltzed.
Well, if she hadn't, this would be a world without a certain Phryne Fisher in it. What kind of world would that be?
Believe this.
It'll be okay, darling.
These puncture marks look like a spider bite. Strange. As far as I know, there are no lethal spiders in Victoria.
As far as you know. What about redback?
Redback bite wouldn't be fatal. Whatever it was, it's clearly in her shoe. You showed remarkable restraint, not investigating till I arrived.
Well, I'm happy for you to be the scout, Jack, while we wait and see what kind of wildlife we're dealing with.
Miss Fisher, I found this in the hedge.
A broken shoelace. Well spotted, Dot. That explains why she was wearing Constance's shoes.
Must have been a fast-acting venom, if it prevented the victim from escaping the rotunda.
I must say, Hugh, those new stripes suit you. No, I think the family are all in England, but there might be some sort of
Take this to the car, please, Collins, along with Miss Rosewell's belongings.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I finally found your Achilles heel, Miss Fisher. Fear of arachnids.
I'm not afraid. I just like to know where they are.
What's that over there?
Miss Fisher. Lovely. Now look right at me.
Wait, clear
Don't
off.
say anything. It's very bad.
You're a gift, Miss Fisher.
Angela's a keen sailor, so I've arranged to have her stay on board while she's here for my tennis tournament.
Your tournament?
Yes. And I'm holding a fundraising cocktail party on board tomorrow afternoon.
I never knew you were so passionate about tennis.
I have many passions, Jack.
Well, if it isn't the Honorable Miss Fisher, who's your fella? Hope your intentions aren't honorable.
I'm Detective Inspector Jack Robinson, Miss Lombard. We're here on official business.
Morning, sir. I thought you should see this.
Is it love all for the Honourable Miss Fisher?
It seems the raven-haired lady detective has found a new ball boy in Inspector Jack Robinson. What do you think, Dot? I think he's captured our best angles.
Well, Collins, if you'll forgive another pun, I think I'm in for a serve. Detective Inspector Jack Robinson. Yes, Commissioner. Understood. Goodbye, sir. I am forbidden to solve cases with a civilian. Won't be long, Collins. Thank you, Mr. Butler.
Jack, I have news. Apparently, Frederick Byrne is facing a number of criminal charges.
I'll get Collins onto it. Sign this.
What have I just agreed to?
You are now a special constable of the Victoria Police Force.
How wonderful. Don't I get a certificate or something?
I've been saving this since I was 10 years old. For Buffalo Bill. But you'll have to do. Mr. Byrne, open up. It's Detective Inspector Jack Robinson.
And Special Constable Friday Fisher.
Ingenious, Miss Fisher.
So the intended victim secured the area by trapping a spider under a what?
Just call it an internal device.
An internal... Oh.
So, it seems Constance's would-be killer wants you dead too.
I'm trying not to take it personally.
Very least, to frighten you off. I know you'll find this unpalatable, Miss Fisher, but with Mr. Burroughs in the house...
Jack, Stanley is besotted with Constance. They're conquering the tennis world together. He's hardly likely to want to try and kill her. Or me. No. Somebody came in through the open window.
This envelope behind.
Loose Bruce Tennis Shoe Company. Urgent.
Constable Collins and I may need to attend your party this afternoon to conduct a search.
Oh, Jack, you can't. A police presence won't encourage people to donate pots of money. I'll find the document and you,
Collins?
Say, did I mention that Jack and me had a swell talk this afternoon?
No, you didn't.
He sure knows how to unhook a gal's dress. Must be those strong, manly fingers of his.
Well, it's so much better when he does it with his teeth.
Whoever put that spider in your bedroom, they weren't trying to kill you.
What are you talking about? I could have ended up like Belinda.
No, you couldn't. It's a trapdoor spider, capable of giving a nasty bite, but not enough to kill. So it was more likely a practical joke.
Well, I fail to see the humor. And the motive remains the same, to scare me off the case.
And to frame Terence Lawson at the same time.
Do you think you can get rid of that now?
It's important evidence, Miss Fisher.
So it's this, but you're not seeing it until that disappears. That wasn't so difficult now, was it?
Endorsement contract. Needless to say, she didn't mention any of this when I interviewed her earlier.
Before or after you helped her out of her dress? Just be careful Frederick Byrne doesn't catch you at it. She's being poisoned. Perhaps she was a target all along. The killer didn't succeed the first time, and they're trying again.
If that's the case, why the payments to Belinda?
Well, that was red herring. Constance swears she didn't pay her.
Somebody did. 2 large amounts above and beyond Frederick's bribes were deposited into Belinda's account in the last 2 weeks in cash, so they couldn't be traced. Would you get off my desk, please?
What?
Just remove yourself, Miss Fisher.
I'm quite comfortable, thank you. Not fair, Jack.
Jack,
What's wrong about it?
is it true? Constance killed that poor kid for a career?
I'm afraid so.
Gee, I thought I played hard. If you ever get tired of Miss Fisher and want to play ball with me, I'll give you the best game you've ever had.
I think we both know that's a challenge I won't be accepting. Goodbye, Miss Lombard.
Oh.
Up. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you.
Oh. I aced you, Miss Fisher.
You just caught me off guard. You're actually quite good, you know.
Thank you. I learned at the police academy. Speaking of which, there's a certain lack of attention to detail in your arrest paperwork, so I'm retiring you as my special constable.
I see. I suppose you'll be wanting your badge back then.
Well, no. No, I think you've earned the badge.
Game set and murder solved. What's this?
The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Psalms 19.
Clearly someone trying to prove a point with all those exclamation marks.
Our escape, you didn't strike me as a religious fanatic.
No. And I have trouble reconciling the glory of God with a man who's murdered 3 times. Can you hear that music?
Pythagoras could hear the music of the spheres, but he was a lot more mathematical than you are.
Listen, it sounds oriental.
Turkish, perhaps?
Exactly.
Osman Effendi, resident scientist.
How divine.
Miss Phryne Fisher, and this is Inspector Jack Robinson.
Osman Effendi, at your service. Can I offer you apple tea?
No, thank you.
That would be lovely.
We're investigating the death of one of your colleagues, Mr. Quentin Toad.
What is your area of study?
Measuring the spectra of light between distant celestial bodies.
How interesting.
Fascinating. But have you seen this man before?
You need to bring my father in for questioning, and you have my permission to torture him. He's received a letter, and I know it's from that madman.
What did it say?
My father refused to tell me, but it's obviously some kind of blackmail.
Phryne, your house is under constant watch. Whatever threats were made in that letter, no one can get near your father or the rest of your household. I'll bring him in for a formal interview.
Thank you.
Oh, Jack, what if it's my fault? What if I drove my father away? I railed against him. What if something happens and I never see him again?
Whatever happens to your father, it's not your fault. And nothing is going to happen.
Oh. Perhaps he has just headed back to England after all.
Well, if it's all expanding, England will move further away.
But it all looks very still to me.
That's because you're not a telescope.
Is that supposed to be a compliment?
More like a romantic overture.
Is that the best that you can do?
Would you like me to improve on it?
More than anything.
Jack, behind you.
I, Dorothy Ann Williams, take you, Hugh Theobald Collins, for my lawful husband, to have and to hold, from this day forward, until death do us part.
Oh, Jack, look.
Ready, Father?
No, we're going to die.
There's no point getting upset in the air. Very unforgiving element. Contact! Get in!
Jack.
Because I know that you know how I love you. If you should break my poor heart in two, what could I do? I'm at the mercy of you.
Flying all the way to England in that?
It's the only way I can make sure that he'll get there.
For God's sake, what if this thing takes off?
Come after me.
What did you say?
It's a romantic overture.
Say it again.
Come after me, Jack Robinson.
When you two have quite finished,
I always feared another man would sweep you away from me. I never thought he'd be your father.
There's a whole world out there, Jack. He's the least of your worries.